Hey, everybody, game on. So Diddy's been sentenced to 15 months, I believe. That's like 4 or 5 years.
Crazy, like.
So let's look at the thing. Yeah, I gotta pull up YouTube. I was trying to do my other computer, but I don't know what's wrong with that. I even connected it to the internet, to the hard, like hard do it, and it wouldn't. So I don't know. Maybe the internet's not going to be as good as I thought. So I want to go back just a little bit, just to I got to go back to YouTube and stuff. Because I'm pretty sure they were talking.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
Diddy did it. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Diddy
5,
did
6,
it.
7, 8, 9, 10. Diddy did it. Check 1, 2. You good, Vic? Everybody good? You need any more?
One, two, and two.
Okay, there we go.
The judge also told Combs that he appreciates the discussion of the impact of a sentence on his family and the impact that addiction has had on Combs. Now, time served. Prosecutors want him behind bars for 11 years. Now, the judge had said to him, Mr. Combs, you're being sentenced for the offenses, not the crimes you were acquitted of. However, under the law, the court shall consider the nature of the offenses and the characteristics of the defendant. Now, he was convicted of 2 counts of the Mann Act, which was transporting people for sex. He flew his girlfriends and male escorts around the country to have sex. So that is a prostitution-related charge. But he was acquitted of the charges that could have kept him behind bars for life. He was acquitted of sex trafficking, and he was acquitted of racketeering, the RICO Act. Now, the judge also cites law which states that no limitation should be placed on the background, character, and conduct that a judge can consider. And the judge said, Mr. Combs, I've considered the fact that you are a self-made artist and businessman who has innovated and lifted people up. The judge also told Combs that he appreciates the discussion of the impact of a sentence on his family and the impact that addiction has had on Combs. Now, Combs said that while in jail, he became alcohol and drug free the first time in a very long time. He also told the court that he wanted to be able to spend time with his 7 children and with his 84-year-old mother. Now, 6 of his 7 children did speak in court, and they told the judge that they want their father home with them. Many of the children cried and were emotional relating to the judge how they miss their father, how he is a changed man. And as I said, Combs told the judge that he was a changed man. Now, the judge also said to him, a history of good works can't wash away the record of this case. Evidence shows he abused and controlled women in his life. And we did see that video. The jury was shown that video of Combs beating up his then girlfriend Cassie in a LA hotel hallway. The judge told Combs, I was sitting right here for the testimony from Cassie Ventura and from another former girlfriend who went by the pseudonym Jane. We read about it in text messages and emails. We saw it in images of gashes, other injuries, broken doors, and video of that Cassie beating. The evidence of abuse with respect to freak-offs and hotel nights is massive, the judge said. Now, this is happening behind me in the federal court, and we have reporters inside who are sending out messages to me, letting me know what's happening. One of our reporters said that the judge rejects the defense's argument that this was the byproduct of consensual sexual conduct and a rock and roll lifestyle. So Diddy's lawyers had said that two things. One, what he did in the privacy of his own bedroom, of his own home, was no one's business. They had said that the government was trying to police what he did in private. The judge said to Combs, why did it happen so long? Because you have the power and the resources to keep it going, and because you weren't caught. Now, you may recall that Cassie had said that she was abused by Combs, but it wasn't until that video came out showing him kicking her and beating her in the hallway of the hotel that everybody knew, and Combs apologized for that and took responsibility. The judge adding that, Mr. Combs, you have the power and the resources to keep it going, and because you weren't caught, you paid for and organized these acts. You were no John. You were responsible for that, even if your currency was sexual desires and not money. Now, Combs's lawyers had argued that these shouldn't be prostitution-related charges because the women were not being paid. The judge is bringing up Combs' persistent violence, focusing part of his remarks on his assault on Jane, the other former girlfriend who testified, and that was just last year after he knew he was under federal investigation. The judge says a lengthy sentence is needed for deterrence, unconvinced that if Mr. Combs is released, that these crimes won't happen again. The judge is casting doubt on Combs' pledges not to repeat his behavior, noting that even after Cassie's lawsuit, after the searches of Combs' homes, after the Cassie video emerged, that after Combs issued an apology for it, he still brutally forced Jane into a hotel night with a male sex worker, according to her testimony. Now, as I said, Combs had a chance to address the court, and he basically said to the judge what was in his 4-page letter to the judge yesterday, that he's a changed man, that he's sorry, that he realizes that sorry just doesn't cut it, but that he is sorry, that he plans to never be back in criminal court again, that he deserves to get off with time served. He spent 13 months in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. And some of the other things that Combs said to the judge is that to prove he's a changed man, he taught a class in prison for other prisoners. He taught a class at the MDC jail for other inmates on life skills. One of the things that did emerge today is that Combs has a speaking engagement planned for next week. And the prosecution said to the judge that how can he have a speaking engagement when we expect him to do jail time? He's not even out yet, and he's planning speaking engagements in Miami and in other cities. Now let's take a look at what's going on in front of the court. If we can just push in over my shoulder here, a big crowd of people Many of them supporters. They've been here all day. Every once in a while, a cheer goes up. But they're also waiting for the judge to hand down his sentencing. Now the judge has said, according to our reporters in the courtroom, the sentence that the government proposes, 135 months, is more than necessary. Court agrees that a serious sentence is warranted, but 135 months is more than necessary. So Combs is sitting with his hands collapsed at his lap as the judge speaks. He's paying attention to what the judge is saying. Combs has been an active participant in his trial the whole time. He's got a lot of lawyers, and he was consistently whispering with them throughout his entire trial. He was consistently writing notes down. So now the defense is proposed. Now the judge is saying that now the judge says that the defense's proposal of a 14-month sentence would not be sufficient. Okay, so Combs and his lawyers wanted 14 months. The judge says that would not be sufficient. The prosecution wanted 135 months, and the judge said that's more than necessary. Now, sentencing guidelines, it was suggested 70 months. So let's see what the judge says. So right now, the judge is saying that the prosecution's recommendation didn't factor in mitigating factors, and the defense recommendation didn't factor in aggravating factors. So the judge is taking all of this into account. And remember, Sean Diddy Combs was found guilty in July on 2 counts of the Mann Act. That's a prostitution-related charge for flying his ex-girlfriends around along with male escorts to engage in sex. The judge says the facts and the circumstances of this case are unique. Sentence 50 months. 50 months. The judge is giving Sean Diddy Combs 50 months in prison. Now, we spoke to a legal expert earlier who said that his team is sure to appeal this. But the judge has sentenced Sean Diddy Combs to 50 months. That's 4 years and 2 months. So just over 4 years in prison. Now, he's already served 13 months in jail. We'll have to see how that factors in. Again, Sean Diddy Combs and his lawyers had asked for 14 months. They expected him to be out and a free man and back home with his family and on a speaking tour. The prosecution asked for a lot more. They wanted 135 months, which is basically 11 years in prison. The judge said that was too much. So Sean Diddy Combs, 4 years and 2 months, sentenced to 4 years and 2 months by the judge for the prostitution-related charges that he was found guilty of. He was acquitted of the charge of racketeering. He was acquitted of the charge of sex trafficking. Those would have carried a maximum, or could have carried a maximum life in prison. Instead, according to the judge, he is sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in prison. The judge said, this is hard time in prison, away from your family, friends, and community, but you will have a life afterward. Let me repeat that. That quote from the judge. This is hard time in prison, away from your family, friends, and community, but you will have a life afterward. Combs is 55 years old. 4 years, he'll be 59. We're going to have more on the sentencing of Sean Diddy Combs, more on what went on in the courtroom. We have reporters there now. They're wrapping up inside. The judge is still speaking. I imagine that Combs and his family are not happy with this sentencing. And we're going to have more, so stay with
Well, y'all, so
apnews.com
really
and the
50
AP
months
News
is
app
not that
to
long. And if he gives him for the time he's already served, he's got what, 2 years? So he should be happy with what he got because he could be there for a whole lot of time. All right, let's see what they're doing.
the latest on the Sean Diddy Combs sentencing.
I guess we're going to wait for them to come out and talk to us. I don't know what's wrong with my other computer. I even hard hooked it up. It won't work. Like it works, but it should be way fast enough. I don't know what's going on. It's upsetting because God, I don't want to have to change my internet, you know?
Welcome back to AP News live stream of the Sean Diddy Combs sentencing. 4 years and 2 months. That's what he got, and Mike was there when it all came down. Mike Sisak, our AP reporter in the courthouse with Diddy.
I'll tell you, our colleague Larry Neumeister was in the courtroom as sentencing was unfolding. I was watching on a monitor from the press room so that I could give you the updates right as it was happening. And yeah, this sentencing was the culmination of a long day in court for Sean Combs and also a long day in court for everyone involved in this case. While we did not hear from the victims, the accusers, Cassie, Jane, and other folks in court today, they did write letters. They did express to the judge their interest in not seeing leniency for Sean Combs. And in the end, Judge Arun Subramanian, he found that while prosecutors were asking for too much, they wanted 11 plus years, that there needed to be a significant sentence to punish Sean Combs for crimes that involved violence, that he said involved coercion, and also for the totality of what he said was 15 years of conduct. The judge acknowledged that, yes, the jury in this case had a split verdict, that the jury convicted Combs of 2 counts of prostitution-related offenses,
I wonder,
but acquitted him of the more serious charges, sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, those counts that could have put him in prison for the rest of his life.
I gotta put
However, the judge said that he was sitting there in court listening to Cassie testify,
I was so
listening
quick to do
Jane
it,
testify, and that he had to consider the behavior and the totality of Combs' character as he sentenced him, and concluded that 4 years and 2 months, 50 months in total, was the appropriate sentence. Now, that said, Combs has been in jail since his arrest last year. He's been in jail for more than a year. So that means he could be released in about 3 years when he's 58 or 59 years old.
Right. So he did spend 13 months at the Metropolitan
that's
Detention
not
Center
bad.
in Brooklyn. So that counts towards his sentence of 4 years and 2 months. And then after he's let out of prison, he will be on a 5-year supervised release program. And the judge also asking his attorneys, where does he want to go to prison? And his attorney's saying, I'll have to get back to you on Monday about that. Is that typical where you get a choice of where to go?
Not a specific choice, but judges can make recommendations about where in the country a person could be incarcerated. The ultimate determination is made by the federal prison system, the Federal Bureau of Prisons. But since Combs has his home in the Miami area, the judge could recommend a prison within the state of Florida or within the Southeast. The Bureau of Prisons typically will put people in institutions that are within 500 miles or so of their address to make it easier for family to visit, for friends to visit. That said, sometimes due to the conditions of a particular inmate, the needs that they have, they might not get those accommodations, that proximity to home. But we'll see what the defense asks for on Monday as it relates to where Combs will be serving this time. For the time being, he will be going back to the jail in Brooklyn, the Metropolitan Detention Center, and he will be going to prison for at least the next 3 years. Again, because of that time served, he will not be free. His lawyers had asked for 14 months, which essentially would mean he would be immediately released from incarceration or released within a few weeks once his time was completely served. There was an interesting wrinkle in the proceeding today where a prosecutor noted that Sean Combs has already lined up speaking engagements or teaching engagements, 7 of them through the remainder of October in the Miami area to impart wisdom that he says he's learned while incarcerated. Now, prosecutors said that was the epitome of hubris, and his lawyer said that was not their intent. They simply wanted to demonstrate to the court that Sean Combs has things lined up, things to do, and that he wants to take a positive message out of his experience with the justice system. However, given this sentence, he's going to have to cancel those appointments for the time being. But at the NBC, at the jail where he is in New York City, he has been teaching a class to other inmates called Free Game with Diddy, and he may be continuing that now at whatever institution he ends up at.
So to recap, okay, the prosecution wanted him to spend 11 years in prison. The defense, his lawyers, wanted him out basically immediately. They were asking for 14 months, and they had booked speaking engagements for him. But the judge kind of split the difference. I mean, giving him 4 years and 2 months, somewhat of splitting the difference. I mean, the judge had said that, I don't take this lightly. You have to pay for your crimes, basically. I mean, you were convicted by a jury of your peers, and, you were convicted of prostitution-related charges. You're not just going home with your family. You're going to go to prison, and you're going to do, in the judge's words, am I quoting him right? Hard time. You're going to do hard time, but you're going to come out and you'll be a better man for it. And he's 55 now. If he's there for 3 more years, he'll be 58, 59, depending on when his birthday is. So he will miss a lot of birthdays of his children, a lot of special occasions of his children. He's got a 2-year-old. He'll miss a significant amount of her life. But the judge said you will come out and you will still have a life.
Yeah, and I think there's an interesting, several interesting things about how the judge arrived at this sentence. Judge Arun Subramanian seemed very moved by the testimony of women who were in court on the witness stand. Cassie, the R&B singer, Cassandra Ventura, the former longtime girlfriend of Sean Combs. And a woman named Jane, who also testified. There was another woman named Mia, who was a personal assistant, who was going to appear in court today and make a statement, but decided not to, in part because she said she felt intimidated by the defense team. He factored all of that in, and he went through a whole litany of things that he considered as he arrived at this sentence. He said he factored in comments that were made in court today by 6 of Sean Combs' 7 children. You mentioned the 2-year-old daughter. She, of course, did not speak. He factored in letters that he received from people in favor of leniency and people opposed to it. And he also factored in how other cases, similar cases, have been sentenced, what other defendants in this similar circumstance have received. However, he noted this is a very unique case with a very unique defendant, and he had to also factor in other things regarding the things he heard in this trial, in this case. Now, he noted that his sentence of 50 months or 4 years and 2 months is less than what was recommended by the probation department. In every criminal case in federal court, the probation department prepares a pre-sentence investigation report, and that helps guide the judge on where to arrive at a particular sentence. In this case, the judge said his sentence that he imposed was 10 months less than what probation officials had arrived at, and even less than what the federal sentencing guidelines would suggest for a case like this. Now, prosecutors, again, they wanted much more time. They wanted 11 years and 3 months. They pointed to some of the very same factors that the judge did in him imposing his sentence, including the violence, including the domestic abuse, and including the power and control that Sean Combs had over the women who ultimately came and testified against him. And one final note, as he was concluding the sentencing hearing today, which went on all day in federal court, Judge Arun Subramanian praised Cassie, praised Jane, and praised the other women who came forward to tell their stories. He said that these were horrific stories, but stories of courage, because they came forward to stand up to a very powerful person. And they not only told that story to the 12 jurors in the courtroom, but also, he said, to millions of women around the world who might be suffering in silence in their own cases of domestic abuse.
So after a long day in court, proceedings started at 10 a.m. Sean Diddy Combs learns his sentence at the end of the day. The judge giving him 4 years and 2 months in prison. The judge saying he's sentencing him to hard time. And also the judge
what would hard
imposing a fine, I
time
believe,
be like? Is he
$500,000
going to
fine.
be out picking
And then,
beans or something?
Combs has already served, as we said, 13 months in jail in Brooklyn. That'll be taken into account. So
Thank you,
who's
over here. Please
out in 3 years
click the like button.
59.
And if you're not subscribed, could you please subscribe?
A life after.
And just one
Thank you
more
for
quick
being
point.
here.
This is not the end of the road. This is not the end of the case. Sean Combs can appeal the verdict, can appeal his conviction, and his lawyers have said they will do so. They have 14 days to file a notice of appeal with the Second Circuit Court of Appeals right here in Manhattan.
Thank you for joining us. This is AP News live stream of the Sean Diddy Combs sentencing. 4 years and 2 months is what the judge handed down. For more, go to our apnews.com website.
4 years and 2 months.
We have an app, an AP News app, and if you like what
and
you're
he's
hearing
already
here,
done
if you like getting
12
news
months.
from us, we have reporters on the ground in court all
So
over the
he
world.
won't be there long.
So please consider donating to AP
He'll be out
News.
soon. He'll be out and ready to rock and roll, right? He'll be out and ready to rock and roll.
Good job, guy.
So do you think they're going to come out and talk? I wonder. So I wonder if they're going to move him to Miami or welcome to Miami. I think they should keep him there where he's at, to be honest. But I guess I'm not the judge. Yeah. Not the judge. But, he could have gotten a whole lot worse. He said 11 years was too much. So, he felt something for the guy. I'm pretty sure once he gets to jail, he'll find out, or maybe we'll find out if they gave him for the time served, or, the 12 months that he's been there. Or what? That's what I'm waiting for, is for these people to talk. Four years and 2 months. So, what will he do? 3 years and 2 months? I wonder, do you get good time in a federal prison? I wonder. Let me look. Yes, federal prison inmates can earn good time credits, also known as good conduct time. So he could be out before we know him. He's singing again and having a good old time with his children and his little baby love. And, you know, it's just sad that, you know, he had to do his life the way he did. And he could have just, and the judge did say that he could not control what he did in his home. So I think that helped a lot with the sentencing when the judge said that he can't tell him what to do in his own home. So, and if you ask me, they were all participating people. So I understand that they were probably, you know, they were rugged and money and all that stuff. So a lot of that plays a part. Well, it's Friday. What's everybody doing today? Or this weekend, I should say. I probably won't go live this weekend unless there's like something wild happens or a police chase. I cannot wait to catch a police chase. That's what I've been waiting for, is the police chase. So we're just waiting now for the lawyers. Hopefully they'll come out and talk to us or to the people. We don't know. I see there's still YouTubers out there that are live waiting for the same thing that I'm waiting for. I could have stayed live, but man, that would have been like 8 hours. I'd have probably fallen asleep. I know y'all probably like, dang, Ronnie, she'd be really flipping out these lives. Well, I'm just trying to get used to the program. This is not an easy program to get used to. I'm telling you. Telling you right now. I'm waiting for my boyfriend to come home so he can change my pain patch on my neck. Because, man, I just had neck surgery July 31st, and it was my third one in the back. And I just found out a couple weeks ago that the screw broke. So I don't think they'll fix the one screw, but I think there might be another one that may be broke because I'm in a lot of pain. It's pretty painful back there. Yeah. So I'm waiting for him to get home. What is that? His entourage? Yep, there's his best friend or something. I hear that his family is running through his money pretty quickly. His mom just had brain surgery. Said he needed to be there for her. That he is her primary caregiver. Well, man, you're making money sitting in prison. I mean, you're always going to make money. You know, he's never going to be broke. I mean, he's worth billions, I believe. Trying to get my daily dose of water in. So that's really what we're waiting for, y'all, is for hopefully they'll come out and talk. Do you think maybe his family will say anything? I don't know. Probably not. It's already 4:20 in Iowa, so it's 5:20 there. The courthouse is wanting to close, I'm sure. Well, there goes all his children. Well, that's good. He's got beautiful daughters, I think. Not one of them. Oh,
Alleged victims of Sean Diddy Combs. I have 2 civil lawsuits against him for my clients who allege that he sexually assaulted them. And also I represent a number of victims or alleged victims who spoke to law enforcement, the prosecutors, but the court did not allow many of the witnesses who were willing to testify, probably because of judicial economy, because the trial would have been very long. I don't know. 148 months is what the sentence was. I think the judge was very thoughtful. He didn't do the 11 years that the prosecutor wanted, and nor did he do the 14 months that the defense wanted. So Mr. Combs will be in prison for a while. He basically had a lot of good things to say, the judge did, about Mr. Combs and his contribution to the community over many years and to racial justice. But on the other hand, he has to pay the price for what he did. He could have had 10 years for each of the 2 counts of the violation of the Mann Act, which is going across state lines for the purpose of prostitution. So I think all in all, he gave the sentence that was recommended by the probation office. And so that's somewhere in between what the prosecution wanted and what the defense wanted. So it's finally over, except that there will be appeal, of course, by Mr. Combs, a very large legal team. And so we'll see what happens on appeal. Yeah, the argument was by the defense that that really this was just watching sex, and so that's free speech. But the judge did not agree to that argument. It wasn't about filming. He said you can't launder an illegal act into a constitutional right, because that would otherwise be a very narrow interpretation of the Mann Act. So it was about committing a crime, because he pointed out that Mr. Combs had in fact participated and sometimes had sexual interaction with Jane and also with Cassie. So it wasn't just about watching, he actually participated in it. So I think he's got a good argument, and I don't think that the defense has a good argument on appeal. So he could have gotten 20 years, 10 years consecutively for each count, and now he has 148 months for a sentence. Many of my clients were very concerned.
Oh, so they must have given him that month or year.
Time served, and then a couple more months. And
so they did give him that year time served.
Retaliate against them. And so I think that they will be happy that he will be at least in prison for a number of years. I think they'll feel comforted on that. So thank you. Okay, all right.
Obviously, very strong feelings and thoughts on this. Now that we have the judge's ruling, what's your feelings?
Well, the judge hands down a sentence of 148 months.
I don't know why it's so low.
Essentially what the probation
it's all the way up
recommended. So it wasn't the 11 years that the prosecution wanted, nor was it the 14 months and get out by the end of this year that the defense wanted. He did have very kind words for Mr. Combs in reference to his contribution to racial justice and the community. But on the other hand, it's obvious that Mr. Combs is going to have to pay the price, the consequences for his two criminal acts. He could have had 10 years for each count, the Mann Act. That would have been 20 years. So he only has 148 months that he is ordered to serve. No doubt his legal team will be appealing from this sentence and from the trial as soon as possible. He's got a very large legal team because he has sufficient funds, and so he'll be able to do that. What I would like to say is
let's try to find something else. I am tired of listening to her. Box 4. We can.
We love you, Mama Combs. We love you, Mama Combs. We love you. We love you, Mama Combs. We love you, Mama Combs.
There we go. I knew there was something I was doing wrong. Thanks for watching with me. And if you can give this video a like. And if you're not subscribed, if you could please subscribe. It's free. It's free to do so.
Everybody does.
Come on, y'all. You think they'd be in a hurry to get out of there, right? Like, I'm ready to go home. Well, I mean, I'm home. I'm saying the lawyers and stuff be like, I'm ready to go home. So they must go in one door and out the other. Because the other side was 200 quart, and this is 500 pearl. I don't know. I don't even know if they're going to come out and talk. I don't know if we're waiting.
No, that's not.
And it's not even going to happen, or what? I got to figure out my other computer. I mean, it's like hooked hard up to the computer. It should work like really fast, but I don't know what was going on. You guys can share the live or the other ones that I've done. If you guys could share them out, let people know. I mean, I'm not the best at it yet, but I'm trying. I'm working hard to figure out the program. I'm doing a little bit better. A little bit better.
I'm not letting it go.
They acting like somebody's coming out to talk, but I'll give it 10 more minutes if nobody's come out. Then I'm going to call it a night and call it good. We know what he's been sentenced to, so that's all that matters. I guess whatever that means, what that guy was just doing.
I think I'm tightening it. And it's down.
I thought I was slow. I was like, wait, something. What a bitch. The squirrel is gonna just at the rest off outside. That is hilarious.
What are you nuts? Sir, a guy in a random guy, a plate carrier in a mask, just walking down the street. Just saying.
Who?
Random guy.
Street is PD. Tell PD. We don't deal with the street.
He ain't no PD.
No.
He's got a mask and a plate carrier.
Tell PD. PD's patrolling the streets. There's a C. Yeah, over there.
Well, I just don't know if they're going to do a press conference. I mean, they got the microphones up there like they're going to. I guess I don't understand why they haven't started. I mean, shouldn't the courthouse be closing by now? It's 5:47 there. Right? Watch, they'll walk right past the microphone. They get paid too much money to stop and talk, I guess. We get Gloria Allred, whatever her name is. Isn't that crazy to think that he made engagements for next weekend to talk? The judge was like, I don't know why you would make arrangements like that, engagements, when you're going to be in jail. Like, why? Why would you do that to yourself? You know? It's wild. It's wild to even think, yeah, we can do some engagements next weekend. No, you aren't. Judge put a quick stop to that one. You are not, my man. You will be in jail soon, prison. Well, this is just wild that they would have people waiting like this. But I guess what better to do with my time?
I'm gonna come back in just in a sec.
I'm just thankful I got premium, or we'd have had 17 commercials by now. Ads. I don't know, y'all. But if they're not, by the time my boyfriend gets home, because he's extra, like real extra, so I can't be live a whole lot when he's home. He'll try to come have a conversation with y'all and stuff like that. And he's funny. He's from a tropical island, so it's from a King Lap, and it's very beautiful from what I've seen in pictures and stuff. So I wish I could go see it one day, but I don't think my health would let me. Like, you gotta have doctors and stuff, and he tells me that if you go to the emergency room, they give you like aspirin. Well, I certainly don't need aspirin. This is crazy. It even sounds like the media might be. Sounds like the media is even getting a little. Look, it sounds like the media is maybe getting a little impatient.
I owe you one next time. I'm not going to you come to see me next time. The other paper is coming up. I'm going to take care of it. All right.
So they must be taking down their microphones because they just said, "Nah, we good." Maybe they're trying to calm him down before they send him back to the big house. Maybe he's upset. Maybe Diddy's upset and they're just trying to keep him calm and relaxed. And I guess if I had to do the next 4 years in prison. But you know, the thing is that it's not as if it's that long. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get it for good time, I'm sure. Maybe Diddy had a breakdown in the courthouse. Wow. That was extra loud. Yeah, they're taking their microphones, so I'm assuming that they're not going to come out. Sorry, my dog got my phone.
They're gone. They're gone? Well, they're not speaking. That means I'm gone. Huh? The cops are breaking down the barriers. They said they're not speaking. You can hang out. Don't leave. Who are they going to protect?
All right, well, they're not going to talk.
Hey, I got an Instagram post of you, motherfucker.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you again for joining me. I very much appreciate it. I appreciate that you came back to watch, the lady talk about the sentencing. Like I said, I'll go live if there's a police chase or something happens. I guess they came with an agreement with the Gaza, so they're won't go to war with them. They made an agreement to free the prisoners, so that's always good, right? All right, don't forget to like and please subscribe. You all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Please be safe. Game off.